Hakan Aran commemorated deceased Doğan abi. So I asked the team to please find a photo where I can be seen with Doğan out there in the field. And they found a beautiful photo where late Doğan uh, is seen. Hakan's father was sick. Still, he was kind enough to come here, but he had to go back to the hospital. This will be a nice surprise for him too. We will send this part to him later, Sezgin. As I said, I met Hakan 15 years ago, and in this photo, you will see an experience you will have in a few months' time. On the other side, there are 5 people that we are interviewing. Hakan, myself, and Doğan. We are interviewing the 5 people across from us. Hakan mentioned him, Doğan. He was 80 when he passed away. We were out there in the field many times, Doğan and I. Damla, where are you? We went to Tonya in Trabzon. The Trabzon flights were taking off at 6:30, 6:30 in the morning. Doğan abi was 80. He was writing his 20th book. He woke up early with us, and we went to Tonya. Not only Tonya, though. I am the son of an orphan who lost his father when he was 1.5. So I have a different sort of sensitivity when it comes to orphanages. I was in an orphanage in Malatya with Doğan abi all day. We went to most cities in Anatolia together, visiting people. And in my last 3 months, I went to Bitlis, Muş, Tatvan, Besni, Adıyaman, Urfa, Adana, Hatay, and others that I'm not able to mention because I'm so excited here. I was a son to teachers, and they were traveling a lot. So I was born in Çorum. Then we went to Şebinkarahisar, Datça, Ankara. Right now I'm living in Beykoz, and I'm 56 years old, and this is my 20th house, which means every 2.5 years I switched homes. Now I understand how important that was for me. Now I understand how a scientist like Doğan abi can change things. Mehmet Abbasoğlu and Hakan, they have a common denominator. These are sincere field people, as I call them. And then there are, fake, uh, fake people you find in rooms. And there is a huge difference because there are sincere field people that you can do extremely meaningful things with around the globe. As Doğan abi put it, well, sometimes we used to ask, how did the YGA grow to today's size? Who is backing it? Are there important businessmen backing it? No. My father was a man who lost his father to an earthquake when he was 1.5, and he went to boarding schools free of charge. I didn't have any rich relatives. I didn't have any relatives that were members of parliament or anything. But Doğan Cüceloğlu has a really valuable thing that he used to say. You might remember from his book, Savaşçı, the fighter. The fighter's strength comes from the purity of his intentions. When he sees that you are on this path with cleanest, purest of intentions, alhamdulillah, Selim, Esra, and all these people decide to help because there is the purest form of intentions here. No hidden agendas, no personal interests. So they support, and then the others who saw this also support, and as a result, YGA grew to its size today. The most important features a leader has, the most sought after features. They put some green signs here so that I can safely move on stage. They told me not to cross these lines because otherwise the audio will be uh, poor quality. Tell me what are the top qualities that are sought in a leader problem solving, responsibility taking, determination, commitment, communication, that he can be inspired, not just giving inspiration, but taking inspiration, being determined, having a vision and having empathy, having confidence. Confidence, that's a word I really love. I'll touch upon that later. Someone who can manage and lead others without giving orders, without giving orders. The one in green? Oh, you're in green too? Okay. How many are in green here? Being able to coordinate. I was unable to coordinate. That was a good one. There's a brother who's shaking his hand there. Inaudible. So they asked this question in 40 countries, and these were the results. These were the answers. 10 top features: passionate, competent, confident. I can read fast, you will understand. Smart, open-minded, fair, courageous, visionary, brave, decision maker. Pick two. Pick two of all these adjectives. What's number one and what's number two? The top quality. They made quantitative and then qualitative research in 40 countries, and now I'd like you to take notes, please, because there's an award in the end and we are going to document it. Please take notes. Everyone, pick a number one and pick a number two of these 10. The most important features that are sought in a leader, according to the answers of 40 countries as a result of qualitative and quantitative research. The visually impaired, please tell in each other's ear. We are not going to have you write in Braille. We will have a surprise for you in the evening. You know that? Kerim Selin Altınok is among the speakers. Yes, someone who gives trust and visionary. Number one and number two. Inspirational, giving inspiration. This was something that led me wrong. Who were the ones that knew the right answers? Did you know in the right order? Do you witness? Okay, I'm writing you down as a witness. Who else? Rise, the ones that knew the right answer. How many on top? 7. Till it's like 20 of us. Okay. The rest from here is really key. Don't sit down. No, you can sit down. So trust and visionary. These were the top two. I think these are cousins, by the way. Why? Well, this leadership definition is really good. What's the definition of leadership? When the task is finished, everyone sees. But leaders are able to see the end of the task already at the beginning. These are visionary people. They have a vision. Atatürk can see already that they will leave just as they came. Atatürk saw it like no one else did. And then he convinced 19 commissioned officers and they took off to Bandırma. So being able to project something that others are unable to foresee. If there's a good leader among us, then they need to be able to project themselves as well. It was wonderful what Mehmet Toner said about purpose. Hakan Aran's viewpoint to those 6 years after becoming a CEO. I'm going to ask you for the same thing now. Let's go to the year 2030. When is 2030? We will see what Sami will have become. If Sami in 2024 is able to see this and show this, to the people around him and make improvements about himself regarding what he sees, then he is going to leave a trace globally. So, are we able to do these two things? Number one, are we able to foresee, project, and if we can project and if we can prepare for the future, then we are able to create a feeling of trust among other people, and then you are the sought after leader. Jansu said, 50% earlier in the room. Uh, who are the ones that want to work in a multinational company as they begin their career?
Benim zamanımda yani 90'lı yıllarda salonun %95.
At my time, during the 1990s, it was like 70% of the participants, but now it has been uh, it has fallen down to 50%. So in the old days, those people worked for these companies at Apple, Google, Nestle, McKinsey, and I have also seen during the break, like we have Melike Aydın. Melike, please stand up. This is your sister Melike. And she graduated. And in Eskişehir, she's working as a founding member of the Up School. And she was told, like, well, you spoiled our dreams because our dream is to go abroad, to live in Switzerland, to be an expat. And we used to do these things, but now what are you doing? So is there anyone who's like, I would like to get the Nobel Prize, like Mehmet, and or be an academician? Can I see those? Raise your hands. It's like 20%. There were people who raised hands for that. Sorry for this. Now I'm going back. I'm doing things which they get angry at most. Do we have Murat Yeşildere with us? Can, Murat and Özlem's son. He participated in YGA program when he was 12. We have Utku at Cambridge, who is working on his dissertation for the doctoral program. And let me turn back to this question. I mean, it might not have to be a multinational company. It doesn't have to be a big organization. Anyone who is willing to be a founding member there. I think this is the majority. There were ones who raised hands for this. Asu is one of them. You can see her during the breaks. Gökhan is one of them, and you will know Mina Ersin is one of them. So you can talk to them during the breaks. So they worked for multinationals and then worked as founding members. Well, 25 years ago, well, the people who applied to YGA, 90% of those applicants wanted to work for multinationals. And then later they were willing to be entrepreneurs and establish their own organizations. And there was this wrong perception, which was like YGA is actually looking for entrepreneurs of the future and train them or educate them. It's not the case. No matter what your path might be, it might be three of them, and the order might change. As Ege and Lara have already mentioned, it doesn't really matter what your journey is, but the common point for these people are three words. I learned this from Yalchin: meaningful global impact. So meaningful global impact. Please make a note of these concepts because they might use fruitful for you during the interviews you will have. And you can do as an academician, you can do as the world manager or leader of a multinational company, you can do this as a CEO of a company. So we need to be able to raise role models. Really realize this by making use of these three ways. So if you're traveling with a nightingale, you will be ending up with a rose garden. This is a saying. So it really matters what you follow and who you follow. Like Ege, though you might be going to Harvard, and Ege calls me at night time, and she reminds me of one of the statements I have shared with them. And it's not about our journey, and it's not about your destination. This is the exact message she heard at Harvard, because the essence is the same. So you need to find your companions for the journey, and then you can decide on the path and destination, no matter what your choices are: academy, multinational companies. But first, you need to find the right companion. My dear wife sits there. Let me introduce her to you. It's this lady. And she makes me watch the TV series Kızılcık Şerbeti, which is very famous in Turkey. And there is this saying, which is an old fashioned way of saying you first need to find your companion, and it's not the destination, but the journey matters more. And when my companions heard this Evvel Refik and Badel Tevfik saying, he used to smirk at me. And if you quote from like Yunus Emre or other Eastern philosophers, it's much clearer than the sayings and the teachings of Western thinkers, but then they are similar in essence. So the main message there is that I have a good piece of news for those who are willing to work for multinationals. Ahmet Bozer, Burak Sevilengül, Derya Matraş will be your mentors, and they will be giving you time and effort. And this mentorship will be very much felt. It will not be staying on paper. It's not like we are choosing 50 people every year as YGA. We are more selective in other areas. So we choose Mehmet Abbasoğlu and Hakan Aranoğlu. We choose sincere men working on the field, sincere women working on the field. The role models that we choose for you are more sensitive than the choices we make for you. And we need to witness a double-winged role models with small egos, big hearts, clear minds, and swift wings. And if you want to be an academician, well, Mehmet Toner is a great example. He's not a joke. When we go to Boston, he takes a leave for 3 days and he drives for us. Or waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning and going to Tonya and nurturing from your mentors. Well, this is real value, and internalizing these values is very important. For those who would like to be entrepreneurs, Ali Karabey, where are you? So this is Ali, you see him there, and this is the Ali in the photograph. Your brother Erinç, Veli, Pamir. These are the first investors of Peak Games, and these are the people who have made it possible for those unicorns to make themselves heard. And we are choosing these role models for you, role models with small egos and big hearts. And it's very important to be inspired by them. I have 5 minutes left, and I've shown this photograph. It's 2008, and what I've said was, is there anyone who knows this gentleman? And not a single person raised their hands. We have it in the records. I mean, and in 2008, what I told during the summit was, now let me ask it again, anyone who knows this gentleman. So we can send this section to Aziz. In 2008, when no one raised their hands, I said to the audience that everyone in their soul will know this person because he will be the first scientist who will be receiving the Nobel Prize in the field of science. I've said 10 years, but Aziz got it in 7 years. I knew him when I was in Charlottesville to deliver a seminar, and I really liked him, not because he is a man of science, but in him I have seen an epitome of Atatürk's ideals. It's all about real success and sticking to and internalizing those real values. And real success is all about not to fall prey to the trap of indecisiveness. And Mehmet Tüzel is one of those businessmen who has internalized this. So real success is all about protecting yourself from the danger of anxiety in case of failure. So these are really special people because they don't feel anxious when they fail. In Mehmet Toner's speech, I have seen that this saying has been internalized. So you need to keep cool in achievement and in failure. So there is this 30-second and a very striking message from us is when you will succeed yourselves, when you will be receiving your Nobel Prize, when you will be chosen as the person of the year, there is this video I want you to remember. Let's watch it. Well, I can't get the credit to myself, starting from Mariam Sanjar on Instagram and till up to my university life. My wife has contributed a lot, and I'm a person who has been created by people around me. So I can't own this achievement myself only. So this was in 2003, and the voice was a bit problematic. But what affected me in Aziz was that he didn't get that credibility for himself only. And these are people who are creating a kind of climate without big egos and with big hearts. And with the inspiration we get from Yunus Emre, we should get ourselves uh, from the scene, and we should not own the credit only by ourselves, because really successful people know that any achievement is there thanks to the contribution of thousands of people. Now, I would like to introduce another person to you, Orhan Pamuk, who has been awarded with the Nobel Prize in Literature. Anyone who is at the age of 20 and anyone who will be 20 during the next 5 years, well, listen to this very carefully. Orhan Pamuk's message, very special for you all.
Is common at the age of 70. What is interesting, very honorable, and very distinctive is to be able to ask these questions when you are 20.
At the age of 20, being able to ask the questions asked by Hakan Aran at the age of 60. So it's really of great value. It's a great honor to be speaking to those young people who are able to ask those questions at this young age. And unfortunately, in the world of business, people might be at the age of 60, but they might still be running after pleasure and superiority. And thankfully, I mean, you are young people, and when people around you get old and get sick or die, and you visit hospitals and graveyards very frequently, it's natural that you can question the meaning of life. But if you question life, if you seek meaning in life at the age of 20, it's really of great value. It's a great honor, not only for me, but for all the speakers here. Don't give that big hand to me. You are applauding yourselves, actually. The reason why you are here today is the answer you give to this question. At the age of 20, you are the young people whom Orhan Pamuk has been praising. Sometimes I'm asked, like, how can you feel so happy? Because the world is in a very bad situation and we have very negative conditions around us. But then I share Atatürk's joy. Freud talks about this search for pleasure. Adler talks about search for superiority. And Viktor Frankl, as Hakan said, talks about a search for meaning. So thankfully, meaning for a global impact has been your center of thinking and attention. This is a great privilege indeed. Now, anyone who knows this gentleman, it's like after 10 years, who is he? Hemingway. So this is Hemingway. Well, we read A Farewell to Arms when I was a high school student, and I think it was the course I was influenced at most. I really enjoyed the course, and Ernest Hemingway has this quote, which I think will be a very important recipe for every one of us. Anyone who will be able to fill in the blanks. There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. We have heard this all throughout our lives. We were like race horses, and we were compared with our cousins and neighbors and friends. So the real honor, the real respect, please say it, to your former self. What's your name? Dear Yusuf, it's very valuable to be able to compete with the Yusuf of yesterday. It's not a race for being superior than others. It's a race with yourself. Yusuf, what's your height? If you will get taller by 1%, what will your height be on December the 28th, 2021, if you will be getting taller every single day? You would be 65 meters. Think about the Boğaziçi Bridge. What is its height? 64 meters. And most probably, please remember me when you're passing the Bosphorus Bridge. If you would be improving yourself by 1% every single day, if Yusuf will be able to do what Hemingway tells us to do every single day, Yusuf with a height of 1.75 centimeters will be a Yusuf of 65 meters. In companies, what we have is Like, it's all about allocation of time and energy. What amount of time do we spare for gossip? What amount of time do we really allocate for real work? So this is really a great waste. So please don't give your time to your cousins and to your friends, but spare your time to what Hemingway tells us. Some go to Oxford and elevate themselves. Some others go to Oxford and elevate Oxford. Some go to Harvard and Stanford, and some others go there and honor those institutions. And the same thing holds true for receiving an award like the Nobel Prize. Mehmet Toner is one of those people for me. A small ego and a big heart, double winged, a very special person. We have watched it in the video, but in one part of the video, this is just to make you understand the philosophy of YGA. Let's watch this together. There are three important things in the States. It starts with science, and the foundations of technology are there, and then through entrepreneurs, these are turned into products. And conscience is one of the missing points in science and technology in the States, both in terms of economy and in society. In order to develop ourselves, we need to have conscience and a conscientious science. I had five more slides, but let's spare them for next year because we will have a very valuable speaker after me. And in order not to steal from the next speaker's time, please think about this deeply. In 1945, the American President Roosevelt issues a report listing the needs of the United States so that the country would grow. And science and technology were the leading items in that list. And that turns the country into a superpower. This turns into an economic development, but it cannot evolve into a social development because we have the highest inequality levels in the states and great injustices. So this is an economic and social development model. This is like the sun voiced by Ataturk, who will enlighten all of us in the world of civilized countries. So, dear friends, welcome to YGA.